It says f is differentiable. This point is on the graph of f. So we have a point on the graph of f. Again, they use this notation to indicate that you're looking, the graph could be considered f of x equals something, or it could be y equals something. It's the same idea. It says the slope at each point on the graph is given by this equation. So that's the formula for finding the slope at every point on the graph of f, or the graph of y equals something. It says find that equation by solving that differential equation. So this is a sassy problem. Sassy, edgy. It's terrible getting old. You can't relate to anybody anymore.
Saucy.
Like saucer. Saucy problem, sassy problem. So I separate. So first thing I always multiply the dx across. I'm going to multiply both sides by 1 over y squared. I have successfully separated the variables. I've earned 1 point. Always put the input variables on the right, output variables on the left. You can always tell which is which by just looking at dy dx. It's always change in output divided by change in input. Question? Next thing, A, anti-differentiate both sides of the equation. Caution. It's very common to think that you use the ln rule here. You do not. Because it's not 1 over y, it's 1 over y squared. It's the ritual, I get it. Never, yeah.
You're good. Keep going.
So what I want to do here instead is y to the negative 2. This side uses the expanded, oh, don't do that, that's too hard. Just antiderivative 6 is just 6x. Antiderivative 2x is 2x squared over 2. And then I just throw in the c. Questions? So now I have y to the negative 2 plus 1 divided by negative 2 plus 1 is equal to 6x subtract x squared plus c. Please, Jim.
So what I did is I just kind of like rearranged the 6 plus 2x. Just I gave 2x plus 6.
Oh, totally
And
fine.
I did the other
Oh, you can use the expanded rule since this is 1. If you look at the sheet, I have a note that says don't. Like, don't use the expanded rule when this is 1. It's not illegal, it just makes the problem harder. So you're thinking nothing wrong with it, it's just harder. 2 points. So what I have now is y raised to the negative 1 divided by negative 1 is equal to 6x minus x squared plus c. Question? Cool. Time to constantate. So we plug in x equal 3, y equal 1/4. I'm going to rearrange this. This is really negative 1 divided by y. So that puts it in 1/4 right here. 6 times 3, 3 squared, plus c. Questions? don't like negative exponents. Dividing by -1 is the same thing as multiplying by -1. Y to the -1 is 1 over y. So dividing by 1/4 is the same as multiplying by 4. So now I have -4 equals 18 minus 9 plus c. So that's 9. Put it over here, you get -13 equals c. Okay, one caution before you leave. On a differential equation, the very last step can often be the most difficult of the entire problem. At this moment, it's not really that bad. We go back and plug the c in here, and then we solve for y. It's not really very hard. I'm going to finish it here in a second so I can finish the video. But if you get stuck on that last step, don't worry about it. You're only losing 1 point. Don't worry about it. You can get a 4 and still lose 48 points. So just keep moving. Good job. See ya. Right, so remember, the big picture is, this is my formula for finding the derivative of some other formula. Solving the differential equation means finding the other formula. So I've got an equation here. I can change it y equals. What I do is rewrite this. This is really -1 divided by y equals 6x subtract x squared minus 13. I need to get the y alone. I'm going to copy it so I get more space.
I'd say all of the above. All right. Yeah.
Like
No. Do you show up to family gatherings and those things?
No.
Really?
Okay. With algebra, sometimes things look nasty, but if you just look at it in a different way, it becomes really easy. So what I want you to do is think of this as -1 over y equals just a bunch of stuff. Because the y is already pretty much alone. So I don't really care what all this stuff is. So all I'm going to do is multiply both sides by y, and then divide both sides by a. Like that. That makes sense, Jason. And then a, good job. A is just this stuff.
So why is it in the back? Oh, it's probably the plus.
What's
So I
wrong
was
with it?
thinking, like, why did the -1 become positive?
What did they do? I
The
don't
back
know.
is positive, but they made all of the bottom.
Right, so they multiplied top and bottom by -1.
Can we harder? Or
Does that make sense, Jane?
Last time was super easy.
Somebody locked them out.
Like monitoring, but you're not bad.
Gossip.
I knew
Somebody
it.
locked them
How
out.
can I get back to it? I knew it. That's how you said. Hey.
What they did is they said this. They said, we're going to multiply the top by -1. We're also going to multiply the bottom by -1.
Thank goodness. Because I'm not sick. I'll text Jay.
Because what's this really right here? Just 1. If I multiply something by 1 and not changing it, it's going to look different. This times this is +1. This -1 will have to distribute. So you get -6x plus x squared plus 13. And then they just traditionally put the x squared first. So is this...
Is it wrong?
No, I would stop there. Yeah, because there's no requirement to simplify on the AP test, so you shouldn't. maybe you make mistakes, just don't. Is this the back?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.